Friends, I welcome you all for my today's class. So today we are going to discuss on the investigations of infertility. So we have covered the definition of infertility. Infertility is defined as unable to conceive within one or more year of regular unprotected coitus. So it is of two types like primary and secondary. So coming to its investigations, coming to first the objectives of investigation. Objectives of investigations means why we should go for the investigation in a infertile couple. What are our objectives? First is to detect the etiological factors, whether what is the cause lying in the female partner, male partner, on the both, that we have to rule out, and to rectify the abnormality in an attempt to improve the fertility. Second one, after detecting the etiology or the cause of it, have to rectify that cause to improve the fertility. And third point is to give assurance with explanation to the couple if no abnormality is detected. So if there is no abnormality, that means if the causes are unknown or there is no abnormality detected in both the partners, then you have to give a assurance with the explanation to the couple. So when to start investigation? As per the definition, the infertile couple should be investigated after 1 year of regular unprotected intercourse with adequate frequency. The interval is however shortened to 6 months after the age of 35 years of woman and 40 years of man. So this is the time. See, minimum 1 year you have to wait, but if the age is more, if they are elderly 35 plus, then we can wait for 6 months. Then what to investigate? The basic investigations to be carried out are: first the semen analysis, second is the confirmation of ovulation, and third point is the confirmation of the tubal patency. These three are the basic investigations: semen analysis, confirmation of ovulation, whether the ovulation is occurring or not, and third point is the confirmation of tubal patency. That means whether the tubes are patent or not, is the possibility of any tubal block, any adhesions, any Sherman syndromes, etc. you have to rule out. It is important that both the partners should come at the first visit. So only, in India what happens, only the females used to come to a gynecologist asking the treatment for infertility, which is totally wrong. So for the first visit, both the partners should come, means couple together should come to the hospital. Detailed general and reproductive history should be taken in presence of both. However, the clinical examination of each partner is carried out separately. And the thing, as a doctor, no one is to be blamed. So it's your duty not to blame the patient. You should not say it's the female cause. You should not blame a female if the female cause is detected. You should not blame the male if the male cause is detected. So as a doctor, it's your duty to give assurance to patient, and no one is to be blamed. Okay, so these are the objectives and when to start investigation and what to investigate. Next point is the clinical approach to investigations. Male and female separate approach is mentioned. First, about the male partner: history, the age, duration of marriage, history of previous marriage, and proven fertility if any are to be noted. A general medical history should be taken with the special reference to the STD, sexually transmitted diseases, mumps or orchitis after puberty, diabetes, recurrent chest infections, or bronchiectasis. So you have to ask in detail about the medical history related with these disorders, because these disorders can cause a delay in the spermatogenesis or can trouble the spermatogenesis. Enquiry about the relevant surgery such as herniorrhaphy, operation on testes, and also about the sexual history, social habits, particularly the heavy smoking and alcohol are of the importance. So you have to ask especially the male partner about the smoking habit, because smoking affects the spermatogenesis. So if he is alcoholic or a binge smoker, you have to rule out by taking a proper history, and its social habits also to be enquired in detail. Next, about the examination of a male partner. First of all, a full physical examination is performed to determine the general state of the health. General examination, you can start with the general examination of a patient. Then comes the after general examination, the examination of the specific system, that is examination of a reproductive system is needed. That is again starts with the inspection, palpation, percussion auscultation. These are the methods for any particular examination. Here comes for the inspection. Inspection and palpation of the genitalia are important in this case. For the male partner, inspection and palpation of the genitalia is important. Attention should be paid to the size and consistency of the testicles. Testicular volume measured by an archidometer should be at least 20 ml. Presence of varicocele should be elicited in the upright position. So you have to feel the testes, whether testes are descended or not, the size of the testicles, and then the volume. It should be measured by instrument called as orchidometer. Then you have to see whether varicocele is present or not. You have to rule out the things. So these are about the general and the specific examination of a male partner. Then coming to the investigations which are needed in case of the male partner. First is about the routine investigation, which includes urine and blood examination, including the PPBS, that is the postprandial sugar. So FBS, PPBS and all, you have to go just to rule out whether any infection is there, whether he is diabetic or not, like how much is the anemia, HB, whether he is anemic or not, that you can rule out. Then next comes a specific or very important investigation for infertility, which is called as a semen analysis. This point is also important for your exam. Semen analysis, this should be the first step in the investigation, because if some gross abnormalities are detected, example being the absence of sperm, the couple should be consoled for the need of the assistant reproductive technology. So coming to the collection is best done by masturbation, failing which by coitus interruptus. The semen is collected in a clean, wide mouth dried glass jar. The samples so collected should be sent to the laboratory as early as possible so that the examination can be performed within 2 hours. So the examination should be performed within 2 hours of the collection of the sample. The coitus should be avoided for 2 to 3 days prior to the test. That means abstinence should be maintained. You can say patient to avoid the coitus for minimum 2 to 3 days before performing the semen analysis testing. So these are the normal values, semenogram or semen analysis, which is commonly asked in your exams. This is semen analysis. So coming to the normal reference value as per WHO to 2010. Semen analysis and the normal reference value and the lower reference within the paresthesis limit. Volume is 2 ml or more, minimum or average you can say is 1.5 ml. pH is 7.2 to 7.8. Viscosity is less than 3, scale 0 to 4. Sperm concentration 20 million per ml or average is 15 million per ml. Total sperm count more than 40 million per ejaculate or 39 million per ejaculate. Motility should be more than 50% progressive forward motility. Progressive motility should be equal to, mean average is about 32%. Morphology more than 14% of normal form, that is and then viability 75% or more should be leaving, or average you can take is 58%. Leukocytes should be less than 1 million per ml. Round cells less than 5 million per ml. Sperm agglutination less than 10% spermatozoa with adherent particles. So this is the normal semen analysis, or you can say the normal values of the semen analysis. So what is the abnormality then? So in selected cases, biochemical test of creatinine phosphokinase and the reactive oxygen species are done as sperm function test. Creatinine phosphokinase helps sperm transport, while reactive oxygen species and the peroxides interferes with the sperm function. Normal male fertility requires a count of over 20 million spermatozoa per ml and a progressive motility of over 32%. Semen values normally vary widely. To properly perform semen analysis, at least 4 weeks apart should be done when one report is abnormal. So you cannot say if one report is normal, then you can repeat the report after a gap of 4 weeks to confirm the diagnosis. So what are the abnormalities you can detect? So the abnormalities, the nomenclature of abnormalities includes aspermia, oligospermia, zoospermia, azoospermia, asthenospermia, necrozospermia, teratozospermia, oligoasthenoteratozospermia. Aspermia means the failure of emission of semen, that means no ejaculate. Oligospermia or oligozospermia is sperm count is less than 20 million per ml. Polysospermia is when the count is more than 350 million per ml. Azoospermia is no spermatozoa in the semen. Asthenospermia is reduced sperm motility. Leukocytospermia is increased white cells or WBCs in the semen. Necrozospermia means spermatozoa are dead or motionless. Teratozospermia, that is more than 70% spermatozoa with abnormal morphology. Oligoasthenoteratozospermia means disturbances of all the three variables like morphology is disturbed, and they are dead or motionless, and the count is also reduced. So count together if all the three variables are there, then you can say it as oligoasthenoteratozospermia. So after this in-depth evaluation, so these are needed in cases of azoospermia, oligospermia, low volume ejaculate, problems of sexual potency. Further diagnostic protocols have been appropriately designed here. Second, if you have found like abnormal semen analysis, the next you can send patient for hormonal testing and the biopsy. Which hormones you have to send? Serum FSH, LH, testosterone, prolactin and TSH. Testicular dysfunction causes rise in the FSH and LH. Low level of FSH and LH suggests hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. Leydig cell dysfunction causes low testosterone and high LH level. Elevated prolactin due to pituitary adenoma may cause impotency. Then fructose content in the seminal fluid. Its absence suggests congenital absence of seminal vesicle or portion of the ductal system or both. Testicular biopsy is done to differentiate primary testicular failure from obstruction as a cause of duct abnormality, cyst, dilatation, calcification, genital abnormalities, hypospadiasis, etc. Then vasogram. Vasogram is a radiographic study done to evaluate the ejaculatory duct obstruction. If you have any doubt of the obstruction, then you can send the patient for vasogram, and it is mostly replaced by the TRUS. Now the scan. Karyotype analysis. This is to be done in cases with azoospermia or severe oligospermia, and raised FSH, Klinefelter syndrome, the XXY is the commonest. Microdeletion of the long arm of Y chromosome can also cause severe seminal abnormalities. Then the biopsy material is to be sent in the Bouillon's solution and not the normal saline. Then TRUS is transrectal ultrasound. It is done to visualize the seminal vesicles, prostate and the ejaculatory ducts. Obstruction indications of TRUS are azoospermia, oligospermia, abnormal digital rectal examination and ejaculatory duct abnormality. And next test about the immunological test. And immunological test means two types of antibodies have been described: sperm agglutinating and the sperm immobilizing. So later is probably related to the infertility, sperm immobilizing antibodies. The antibodies are produced following the infection like orchitis or mumps orchitis etc. cases, trauma and vasectomy. Even for following vasectomy, antibodies develop. These antibodies can be detected from the serum by the sperm immobilizing test. Presence of sperm antibodies in the cervical mucus is demonstrated by the postcoital test, which we have covered already. Postcoital test, after the coitus you have to take the examine the cervical mucus, and then we have to see whether we'll find any motile sperms there or not. The presence of motile sperms indicate there is absence of any anti-sperm antibodies. If we found only the dead sperms, or you can say the dead sperms totally which are not motile, then you can say the presence of anti-sperm antibodies there in the cervical mucus. So these are called as the immunological test like PCT etc. The next is presence of plenty of pus cells, which requires prostatic massage. The collected fluid is to be examined by staining and culture to detect the organisms and appropriate antibiotic sensitivity. So this is a symmetric presentation of the abnormal seminal analysis. First, if you found any azoospermia and oligospermia, then you have to go for the hormonal study, fructose content of the seminal fluid and the microscopic study. So in the hormonal study, you can send patient for serum TSH. If it is high, it indicates hypothyroid state. Testosterone, if it is low, then you have to give the treatment with SCG. If it is responsive, then you can say it is a hypogonadotrophic and hypogonadism condition. If it is not responsive, then you have to send patient for karyotyping. If you found double XY, then it confirms the Klinefelter syndrome. Then prolactin, if it is high, then you have to give the dopamine agonist to reduce it. Then FSH, if it is high, again the variations may be like testicular failure, Klinefelter syndrome, Sartori-Saloni syndrome, testicular atrophy. In that case, you can advise patient for adoption or AID, artificial donor insemination. Then next, if FSH is normal, then normal testicular volume, then you can send patient for testicular biopsy. Spermatogenesis is normal or spermatogenesis is absent. If spermatogenesis is normal, then obstruction to the efferent ducts. Vasostomy, vasoepididymostomy. Then spermatogenesis absence is the destruction of tubular epithelium. Donor sperms AID can be taken. Then if the FSH is low or undetectable, then you can say it is a case of condition of hypogonadotrophism. Like in cases of Kalman syndrome, then you can start with some SCG 5000 IU 3 times weekly to increase the gonadotrophins. Then if you can also send patient for the microscopic study like presence of pus cells and leukocytospermia, then in that case you can advise prostatic massage, smear and culture can be taken, and appropriate antibiotics should be prescribed. So this is about the method how to go for the how to deal with the abnormal semen analysis in cases of a male partner.